And we're back. This is Chris Spiker with Minding Your Business, Lancaster Chamber of Commerce. Next guest and chamber member, Denise Faucette, nutritional counselor, health specialist, and wellness coach. Welcome.
It's good to be here.
Let me give you a mic. There you go. And thank you for joining the Lancaster Chamber of Commerce.
It's my pleasure. I was looking for a venue to get the word out about health, and that seemed like the most appropriate place to go.
How long have you been interested in health?
It started about probably 5 years ago when my husband first came home from the doctor with a diagnosis that his sugar was too high, and with that he came home with a big bag of pills. And that kind of started the journey.
And you're married for richer, poorer, sickness and health, so you're going to make things better.
Absolutely, and I really didn't want to see him on those pills for a long time, and I knew there had to be a better way.
How did you figure that out?
I took nursing when I was in school, so I had a pretty good understanding of nutrition. I had an understanding of how the body works and that what you put into the body affects your body. So if I could change the way he was eating, then I could help to bring his sugar down.
Denise, don't you think, we're adults, we have money, there's wonderful places to go and eat and relax and make ourselves happy, and a lot of it is not healthy.
This is true. That's where we have to start making healthier choices, because we can still enjoy a good meal, but in the way that we prepare it, it makes it healthier. And if we cut down on all the fried foods and eat more baked foods and things like that, and I know sometimes to people that seems boring, but with the right seasonings and the right ingredients, you can make it taste even better than something that you're throwing a ton of salt on.
I heard you say the word preparing, and to me that means probably eating at home a little bit more.
Yes, and also when you eat out, you make better choices as far as what you're eating, but eating at home is good. And I know a lot of people think that because they have busy schedules, they can't eat at home and they don't have time, which is one of the myths that I have to dispel with people, because you can actually prepare items ahead of time, and then it's not going to take you as long to prepare a meal at home. And when you really think about it, by the time you sit through a drive-through line, and everything else, you've spent probably 30 minutes.
Yeah. And if you have a 30 or 45 or even an hour lunch, you're just stressing yourself out in that fast food line.
Exactly. But if you prepare your meal in advance at home and you do meal prep throughout the week, all you have to do is take that healthy lunch with you, include some fruits and vegetables, maybe a nice salad, a nice sandwich with some healthy lean meat on some wheat bread with some fruit. And that's a perfectly good lunch, and it's going to cost you less than what it would to go to that drive-through. That's another myth that people have, is that it costs too much to eat healthy.
And then you're also you're using your own containers, and so no trash.
Exactly, which saves on our environment as well.
So
it's kind of a win-win situation for everybody.
So I met you at the Lancaster Chamber of Business for breakfast the other morning. I think that's where. And did anybody come up and want to talk to you?
A few people. But what I find is that nutrition is something that everybody needs. We all need to be able to live a healthy lifestyle, and nutrition is just a part of it. It's an entire lifestyle. But it's not necessarily something we want.
So maybe this is like next year or the year after, or when I I get to a certain age, if I do.
Right. And also, it's like, well, I feel okay now. And that's what I usually hear from people is, well, I feel okay now. Well, I understand that, but you got to understand how the body works. Before a person gets a symptom, like their blood pressure or their sugar levels or anything like that, that's already going on inside your body long before that. That symptom comes out when the body is saying, I've had enough.
Yeah.
And that's actually the body's cry for help.
Right. And even then, thank goodness, it may not be too late, but
Exactly.
it's a road you shouldn't have never taken.
Right.
So you teach classes?
I do. I teach classes as far as a lot of different things, the importance of water. And that's one of the things that people don't realize, how important water is in their body. I teach classes on label reading because oftentimes we grab something from a shelf and we don't pay attention to what's in it. And high fructose corn syrup is one of the things that's in almost everything. If you look in your barbecue sauces, a lot of salad dressings, things like that, and people don't realize that. So they end up putting things into their body that they don't even know. So label reading is a big part of it. I go over pH testing, which gives a person an understanding of whether or not their body is assimilating the nutrients that goes into it. Because if your body is too acidic or too alkaline, it doesn't matter if you eat that nice good salad because you're not getting the nutrients from it.
So it can be either too acidic or too alkaline?
Yes.
Wow.
It can go either way. And then I teach classes as far as just basic health tips. I go over vitamins, why it's important for different vitamins in your body. The importance of, some people want to eliminate certain things from their diet. They say, I'm going to eliminate carbs. Well, that's all well and good, but carbs give your body energy. So there is a need for each of those items in your body because it has a function. So I teach people about that it's okay if you want to cut it out for a while, if you have a specific goal, but at some point in time, the key to health is eating a well-balanced diet every day, which includes your green leafy vegetables, which includes your whole grains, which includes your fruits, your lean proteins, your dairy products. All of that is a part of it, which your body needs the nutrients from all of those different food groups, not just a handful of them.
Sounds like you could almost I don't, but you could lay a schedule out in advance.
You can, and actually the best way to eat is every 3 to 4 hours. And when you get up in the morning, within about half hour after you wake up, you should be eating some kind of a breakfast, a whole grain cereal, an egg, perhaps a whole grain bagel, muffin, toast, something like that. And then 3 to 4 hours later, you should be having a snack, a light snack, maybe with some, we'll do nuts, we'll do carrots, we'll do fruit, we'll do lean meat and cheese with whole wheat crackers, some of the snacks that we do at our home. And then you do your lunch, you have a snack, and you do your dinner. The other thing that maybe people don't realize is your body has an internal clock. So around 7 p.m. in the evening, your body is going into a resting mode. Your digestion slows down. So I remember growing up, people used to say, oh, don't eat after 7 o'clock at night, but I never knew why. Now I understand why. It's because your body's internal clock, your digestion is beginning to shut down. So anything you eat at 8, 9 o'clock at night is just going to sit there until the next day.
So what happens when it sits there? Your body is working on it, which it can't. And
it ends up going into excess weight.
Gotcha.
And oftentimes it'll elevate, depending upon what you ate. It can elevate your sugar, it can elevate your pressure. It can cause a lot of different things to happen within your body. It's all bad, definitely.
So it's not the time to be eating.
No. You shouldn't eat after 7 at night.
And that has nothing to do with feelings. That has to do with what time is it?
Right. It has to do with your body's time clock. Because our bodies are designed as a mechanism, as a complete unit.
Yeah.
And it functions, it is constantly rebuilding cells and re-energizing itself.
Water plays an important part.
Water is probably one of the most important parts of your body because of the impact that it has. There's been research because now whatever weight you are, if you take your body weight and you divide it in half, you should be drinking half that amount of ounces in a day. So let's say an average man weighs 180 pounds. He should be drinking 90 ounces of water. And there have been studies that show that water can be related to Alzheimer's because your brain,
Lack of.
yes, your brain is 90% water. So if you're not drinking water, your brain's not getting water and it's getting dehydrated. Your muscles, your bones, your blood vessels are all mostly water. Your body is 80% water.
Yeah.
So you figure if you're not putting that water into your body,
It's not working.
it's bad news.
Slowing down. And I've heard of a buddy's dad started drinking water and his symptoms of Alzheimer's went away.
Mm-hmm.
Just by drinking water.
Yes. Simple little thing, water. Next to air, water is the most important thing that you need to be putting in your body. Research shows that you can go 4 minutes without air, 4 days without water, but you can go 40 days without food. So if after 4 days your body shuts down without water, just imagine what it does if you're depriving it every single day of the essential water that it needs to function properly.
It's making me thirsty just thinking about it, really. Yeah, I see your
And
water bottle.
yes, and actually I carry water with me, and that's what I tell my clients to do is get yourself a water bottle, fill it up, and calculate how many of those you have to drink during a day, and just make sure you carry it with you everywhere you go.
Clean water is wonderful stuff.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm talking with Denise Faucette, nutritional counselor. We're going to take a break. We'll be right. You stick around?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Be right back. And we're back. I'm Chris Spiker, Minding Your Business, Lancaster Chamber of Commerce. Second section with Denise Faucette, nutritional counselor. Thank you for sticking around.
Oh, my pleasure.
And can you tell us a little bit about A+ Nutrition for Life and how you got started?
Well, I got started because of my husband's health issues, and as well as my own. I had gained a lot of weight. I was up to, this was back in November of 2013,
We have a before and after
I
picture.
believe. Yes.
Bob, would you put that picture up?
And so I looked at my, and what really did it is my husband bought me a dress for my birthday.
Uh-huh.
And it was this really pretty red dress, and I put it on, and I couldn't fit into it. And we had to go back to the store. And now that dress was a large. When I went back to the store, I had to put on a 2X, and
Yeah.
it was tight.
Yeah, wow.
And I, at that
What
point,
happened?
I was at like 206 pounds at that point in time, and
Wow.
it was like, you know what, I can't keep doing this because I come from a family where my parents, my brothers, well, all but one of my brothers, but my brother and my sister are all considered obese. My mom and my dad both passed because of health-related issues,
Wow.
because of their weight. So when I saw myself going in that same spiral,
Yeah.
I knew enough to know that I have control over that. I
Sure
can
we
make
do.
a decision
Yeah.
to change the way that I'm living and what I'm doing and how I'm eating. So it was during that time that I started at Trinity School of Natural Health and began studying nutrition. And I was so intrigued by everything that I was learning. I just wanted to learn everything. So I learned about nutrition. I learned about the herbs, healing herbs. I learned about healing teas. I even studied iridology, which is a study of the eyes, where you've heard, I'm sure people have said that when the eyes are the window to the soul.
Right.
Well, they truly are, because our eyes represent our entire body. You can look in your eyes and you can see different organs in the body, and I found that very fascinating. So as I studied more, I began to use it on myself and was able to lose that unwanted weight, and really not lose, but get rid of
Well,
what
this was
wasn't
kind of
needed.
a midlife choice for you.
Absolutely.
You said you were trained as a nurse,
Yes, in my college years, many, many years ago.
and then at some point in your 40s,
Well, I trained as a nurse, but then I ended up going into business instead. So I ended up going to business school, opened my own business. I had a fire safety company at one point in time, and I was really intrigued by business and public speaking. And in fact, one time I wanted to go into broadcasting, but I ended up just kind of going into business and but kept my health knowledge, and I still had that desire to help people, which is why I went back to Trinity to learn about the natural way for people's bodies to heal and how to live healthy.
Well, in your practice, what services do you offer?
Well, we start out with basics, pH testing, because one of the very first things that I need to know is whether or not a person's balance is off as far as the acid and everything else. We go over meal planning. I help them with lifestyle changes as far as healthy meals. I help them with shopping, preparing grocery lists. Those are some of the services that we offer. We do nutritional counseling where I'll sit down with them, and I have an assessment sheet that I go over with people that kind of gives me an idea of what their eating habits are.
Right.
How many times a day do you eat sugar? You know, what kind of cravings you have, and that gives me a better understanding, because our cravings come from a lack of certain vitamins in our body.
So we're trying. Just not doing it the right way.
Well, and it's not that, it's just that people don't know. People haven't been educated on this. We grow up in cultures, and what we eat is based upon our culture. I came from a family where we ate a lot of pasta, we ate a lot of potatoes, we ate a lot of macaroni, because it was very filling. We didn't have a lot of money, as with a lot of families, so you eat what you can eat.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not the healthiest thing in the world for us.
But it's filling.
But it's filling.
And
yeah.
Mom and Dad feel better because...
Mom and Dad feel better. They gave you that big old plate of spaghetti. And I don't know about you, but growing up, I was told if I didn't clean my plate, my parents got real upset.
So you got the guilt
there's
thing.
There's hungry kids in China.
Yeah.
So so send it to the kids in China, because I'm full. But we grew up with that mentality, and we grew up with the mentality that more is better. We get these big plates and we fill them full.
Yeah.
So a part of what I teach in the changing our habits is get a smaller plate.
There you go.
So if you go with a sandwich plate instead of a full dinner plate,
Right.
you can still fill it up.
Once.
Right.
Yeah.
And your body knows. And the other thing that I teach people is how to eat. Most people don't know how to eat. Now that sounds kind of silly, because we all know we just eat. But ideally what you want to do is when you take a bite of food, you eat it. And one of the things I learned in school was that you chew the food, and you chew it till it's liquid, and then you chew the liquid.
Wow.
Well, while you're doing that, you put your utensil down.
Right. Yeah.
Okay? Because your body, once again, back to the internal clock. Your body has an internal clock. After 20 minutes, it signals a full reaction. So if you're sitting here scooping the food in, like most of us tend to do,
20 minutes.
you eat a lot.
Yeah.
But if you're taking a bite, you're chewing it, and that also aids in your digestion, because digestion starts in the mouth with saliva. People don't necessarily realize that, but that's where your digestion actually starts. So if you're chewing it, then you're getting a much better digestive process going, instead of just like shoveling it down, because at that point your body doesn't really have the time to digest it properly.
Then you might be able to have a conversation at dinner.
This is true.
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of people seem to lack the conversation at dinner too. And also people eat too much on the run. You really want to try to sit down and have a relaxed meal to give your body time to process the food and to digest it properly. So those are some of the really big ones. And then educating people, of course, about water and why it's important, because everything in our body depends upon that. So a lot of it is getting a feeling of where the people are at.
So that's a one-on-one.
Yes, definitely. And then depending upon where they're at, I also offer vitamins, which are all natural. I offer different things to help with weight loss, to help with energy, which are all natural, made out of vitamins, minerals. So there is nothing in it that's going to be harmful to the body.
Right.
And I believe in keeping things as pure as I possibly can. So I looked into different, as far as supplements and vitamins that I wanted to offer to my clients. And I found one that I felt was the purest, and that really kept it away from all the chemical stuff. And the label reading, again, is a really important part of it.
Just have to get your reading glasses on so you can read the small print.
That too. Well, also a real good trick is if you can't pronounce it, you shouldn't be putting it in your body.
Wow.
Number
yeah.
one.
So it's chemical.
Yes.
Man.
And then if you have, if you're like, let's say you're reading, I don't know, a box of cereal or whatever it is that you're buying, and if there's a laundry list of ingredients in there, you probably don't want it. The less ingredients, the better.
And it's real food.
And it's real food.
So people can hire you for a private one-on-one,
Yes.
or I imagine they could hire you to speak like to a group, a church group, or work.
Absolutely. I go out and I speak with different groups. I have several different things that I speak on. And if there's a special concern that anyone has, then they can let me know if they have certain issues that they want to have addressed. Then I can address those as well.
So Denise, you know, some of us know some of these things,
Mm-hmm.
but we're not doing them.
Right.
So do you have and you don't nag. So how do you get people to change habits?
They have to have a willingness. That's probably the biggest thing. I can't make anybody change their habits, but I can show them what I've done and my results. And, you know, they have to, like I said, they have to have that desire. I can say, you know what, if you don't want to be dealing with these issues anymore, if you want to lose the weight, here's the path.
Yeah.
When you're ready, you know, if you're ready to take it, that's great. Because I have met with even people in my own church that, you know, I've given them the path, people that I used to work with. Sometimes they accept it. But then most of the time they come back to me later on and say, hey, Denise, can we get started on this plan now? Because now I'm ready.
Good.
So
There's
sometimes it takes a minute.
no easier way.
No, it's not. And actually the easiest way is just to develop a healthy lifestyle. And then you can do it for the rest of your life. You don't have to go on crash diets.
It may be
You don't
longer
have
than
to
you
do
expected
that.
if you're healthy. You may live
Exactly.
longer, but you know, that's a benefit.
That's a definite benefit.
Contact information for you. How do people find you?
Well, I'm A+ Nutrition for Life, and you can reach me. My cell is 661-400-5748. I'm also on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook, A+ Nutrition for Life, where we also have our nutritional nuggets. So Monday through Friday, we do put up little tidbits of information as far as different things. I do different things, vitamins, water, things like that. Sometimes we do a short video, but we do give you health tips Monday through Friday at Nutritional Nuggets. You can inbox me for more information as far as the pH testing and the counseling, weight management, and those type of things.
Did we scratch the surface?
Just barely.
Well,
we did scratch the surface, but
Thank you
there
for
is a
being
lot
on.
to know.
Thank you for joining the Lancaster Chamber.
Well, it was a pleasure being on, and I'm glad to be a part of the chamber. I'm honored.
Denise Faucette, nutritional counselor, health specialist, wellness coach.